Guys, a brief introduction into programming, and I'm not going to go very deep because it might bore some of you that you have no idea, but maybe it might be interesting too. So I'm just going to give you the headlines. So as you see, the system I'm using is called Linux systems. It's not very familiar. I'm not sure a lot of people are familiar with Linux system, but it's what many programmers do use, and it makes your day easy. So I'm going to proceed on from here. As I was saying, that before you write a program, you need a compiler. Already I've already downloaded my compiler from Python.org website, and I've already installed it in my system. That's actually the compiler running. So you can see the version. We have 2.7.6. That's an older version, but still good. So we are going to start by doing some light calculation. You see the prompt is still blinking, asking us to put in something. That's the command prompt. That's where you input any code. That's why it is called an interpreted language, because, example, let me say 2 plus 3, right? Two plus 3, press enter, it's going to give us 5. So it interprets to us immediately the result. If you say 5 plus 4, we have 9. It can take any amount of value. It doesn't matter how large is it. Then let's say 8 divided by 2 is going to give us 4. It's a good calculator. It can function like a calculator. Actually, we'll look at all the operators. Then we have 2 times 3. It's going to give us 6 as multiplication. You can multiply with Python, you can divide. And if we have let me say 8 let's say we have 2 times 4, we have 8. Let's look at subtraction. It's also good for subtraction. If we have 8 minus 7, it's going to give us 1. If we say 7 minus 8, it's going to give us -1, which is the right result. Okay. Those are just the basics. If we say 1 divided by 2, it's going to give us 0. Normally, if we did that with calculators, it's not going to give us that. But with Python, it's different, because it doesn't output the remainder. The remainder of 1 divided by 2 is 1. 0 point something, something like that. But it doesn't output the remainder. So it just outputs the even number. Let me say something, something like that. So we're going to move to something they call variables. If there's any question before I proceed, I want to be a little bit faster so that we are all comfortable. If there's any question with what I've been talking, you can ask so that I can proceed. There are no questions, then let's move on. We're going to be talking about something they call variables. Variables are actually they are names of anything you think about that you want to store a value in that name. For example, let me say message. Sorry. Let me say message. Is equal to hello. Hello world. You see, now message is equal to hello world. I have actually assigned hello world into message. So now that message hello world is inside the variable message. So now if I say message, it's going to print out message. Printed out message. I can still say age. You say 27. I'm assigning age 27 to age. I press enter, it comes down. The prompt is still there looking at me. When I say age, it prints out the age that I assigned to age. Okay. Those are just some of the very, very basics that we have to be looking about. Python programming is very easy. It doesn't require a lot of rules like other programming languages. You just type and you go ahead. Okay. Okay. They will also have something they call data types. Data types. We have looked at just 2 data types here. Okay, let's do more. Okay, let's look at okay, let's say 5 is equal to 4. The interpreter will tell you no, it's false. The interpreter is going to tell you it's false, right? It's not equal to 4. 5 can never be able to understand what you're talking about. So now if I say print equal, I'm asking him to print that on a screen. It's going to tell me equal is equal to false because 5 is not equal to 4. And 5 is within the variable called equal. So we have looked at 3 data types there. The first data type we're looking at, the first data type we're looking at is strings. So to know the kind of data types I was dealing with, I'll just have to type from message up there, right? I'll say type message. Okay, the interpreter is giving me an error. Name error. Name message is not defined. If you look at the way I spell message here and there, it's wrong now. That's why the interpreter said no, it's not correct. So I'm going to correct it. It's a string. So that data type is a string. Anything within quotes in Python programming language is a string. Anything which is within quotes. Okay, now the second data type we're talking about is we should be talking about integers. So if I type, go back to H. It's an integer, number, an integer like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we have the Boolean integer, the Boolean data type, which is the last one we looked about. If I type, that was equals, right? Equals. It's going to go as bool, it's a Boolean. So before I proceed again, I'm not going deep into it because you might not be very interested in the beginning when you start. But if you have any question you want to ask about what I'm doing, if you have to write big software, let me say something, you start from this stage. This is where you start. You start by writing pieces of code. At the end of the day, you combine those codes. If you look at Microsoft Word, Excel, there are thousands and thousands of lines of code that have been written. And it starts like this. Do this. Print me this. If this is not working, print that. Or else, exit. That's how the program works. So if there's any question somebody has to ask and before I proceed.
So you talk about that before you want to put a program, you need to program it by like this kind of say message.
Yeah.
I mean, message is supposed to this code.
Okay. Yeah.
Message is supposed to be hello world.
Yeah.
But when it comes to numbers, we wrote there H is equals to 27.
Yeah.
And it gives you 8, and then when you take enter, it gives you 27.
Uh-huh.
Then we come to this number to say x is equals to 5 and it's giving you false 1. Or x is equals to 4 and it's giving you 4. Why is it giving you 4?
Mathematically, okay, x is equal to, okay, no, forget about these two stuff I did here, right?
No, I'm talking about 5 equals to 4.
5 equals to 4.
Yeah,
Then why is it giving 4? Mathematically, it's not possible. 5, we are just showing you the syntax of program. And the things that you need, the pieces that you need to blend to come to a final program. At the end of the day, we're going to write a simple program here so you can actually see what I'm talking about. But the other question you're asking, you're going too far. We cannot do that in one sitting. That takes a lot of time and a lot of work for us to actually do. Because if we have to do that in one sitting, you should be having Python in your computer installed so that you're following up. But since most of us here don't have, maybe I did not inform you about bringing your laptops or something, we should just like get an overview about the whole thing. Okay,
Excuse
so
me. Therefore, if you are to write the program, are you going to start the same as
you start with the menu. You write codes which are responsible for the menu that will handle the menu. You come down now, you write code, you are picking it block by block. It's something we call functions, which I will brief you guys on. Each function on the web page has its own function. Each section on the web page has its own function. So that's exactly how it functions. So I understand your question you're asking. You want to get bound, you want to get right into what, how you can write the program. But it has to start gradually. Before you are able to write the program, you have to plan. You have to plan for the program. Like your website, your school website was built by one of my colleagues. You guys can access your courses online, do registration. It's like there's even a chat something online. The guy who just left Yemi, he's the CEO of Yem's Group. So we had to plan that site. The chatting area had their function to do. The course area had their function to do. So it is a lot of planning. If you come with a project and I have to use my the Python programming language to program a software for you or a system for you, I will need us to sit down and plan it first. Because if you don't plan, I'm not going to write anything. I'm not going to come out with anything. So we have to plan each stages. So that we'll plan and program all those stages. That we now can combine them in one script for them to execute. Is the question answered? If you're not clear, just let me know. You're not clear. You're not clear. Can you ask again, please?
Okay, I asked, and if you are to write a program, like example this one course with C course, some start already fast, and there's something like this, are you going to start as we started in the beginning, or you just need to start filling the numbers in Python program?
If you are to write a program, right, you are familiar with C++. If you are to write a Python program, you just need a Python compiler and the interpreter. This is the interpreter. Or a text editor of your choice. We are doing this because I want us to be actually seeing what is doing. If not, I will just write everything I want to write, and I come on one disk for I execute it at once. You execute all at once. It doesn't make sense. So when the interpreter, that's why we say Python is an interpreter language, but C++ is not one of them. It's a compiler. It compiles the whole thing as a whole when you have written everything. So that's the advantage of Python, because you actually can identify your errors before you finish writing your code. Okay. Then let's move to we can actually let's be fast. We can actually convert strings now. I say that anything which is in double quotes is a string. Let me say if you want to convert, let me say 10 now, which is a string. I put it in the form of a string. I want to convert that to a string. I'll just write int in brackets, quotes 10, and I have 10. It comes back to an integer. If I want to convert that string into an integer, it comes back to an integer. We want to, yeah, that's it. That's it. Then let's move ahead. Okay, there's something I did not say. Int is a built-in method that has been built by those who created a language to take care of conversion. Int, so same to type. Type is a built-in method. What is a method? If you want to know if a number is an even number, you say if number is equal to, if you say, okay, let me say if you want to know, let me do this way. Int is just a method that's written by those who created this program. They are helping you to help you write your own program. It's inbuilt in the first. They are equal. Because I was saying that if I give the value of x is 7, the value of y is 8, and I said if x is equal to y, then print x and y are equal. Else, if that condition is not matching, do this other one, print they are not equal. So when I run by my code by pressing F5, I have that result. They are not equal. See now. So we have the type of this is the data type, which is sorry. We have the data type, which is list, right? The data type, which is an inbuilt data type, is list. That's the inbuilt. It's list in Python. So you can actually print some of the items within that list. Let me say li, right? In brackets. Because Python group does also talk about indexing. It actually does indexing of that list. And it starts the indexing from 0, right? It starts indexing from 0. So let me say 1. Is an index 1, that is tomato is 1, right? So if you say 0, right? We're going to output right, which is the first value, the first string, list item. Then we'll output 2. But we have just 3 items, so it begins from 0, 1 to 2. Yeah, output 2 is going to output us oil, right? That's indexing, actually indexing the code. Okay, now you can actually find the length of that. The length of that list, that's the length and value, right? You use a built-in function known as length, which is a method that has been written in Python to handle the length of something. We have 3 items within the list, so the length is 3. So now let's move real fast before you get bored. So we can add a list. We can add items within the list. Let me say li, right? We use an inbuilt method known as append. Append. Let me say want to add more. Can somebody give one suggestion for us to add in our list? One suggestion for us to add in our list. Our list, our Christmas list for shopping. Meat. Meat. Let's add meat, right? We have meat. And if we output list now, meat has added in our list. So now you can actually write. You can actually do a lot of coding. You can actually do a lot of programming. It actually it helps you to think, and bring solve the problems that maybe we could not be able to solve in real life, but we can do it on computer. So we can add an item to a list. We can sort the list so that it should come in an alphabetical order. Alphabetically. Let me see. We'll use an inbuilt method which has been written in Python known as sort to sort our list, right? We output the value of list is now alphabetically. You see now how the letters are appearing on the alphabet. Meat, oil, rice. It has now changed the form. So now we can say, let's create another list. Let's say list 1, right? And within that list 1 we have list 1 we have 1, 2. It's called for Yembe. For Yembe, can you please? Okay, we'll wait for him for a minute for him to come up. Down the floor there. So we're going to be giving you guys some talks too.
Good morning. Okay, thank you, Richard. Just like Richard said, my name is Wimby, and yeah, I and a team of few guys actually are working on a small organization where we help other organizations to reach out to the wider audience using the internet. There we call ourselves Unity. It's nothing fancy, nothing important. And this morning I'm going to be talking to you about programming and entrepreneurship. We have been looking at programming since we came here. I want us to take a quick look at how this programming can help us make something out of our lives. Now, in order to go ahead, I want us to remind ourselves of one very simple fact. As we are growing up in life, there are two kinds of people. Now, there are people who are dreaming of working for the biggest corporations. Some of us are dreaming about working for MTN, right? Some of us are dreaming about which corporation are you dreaming about? Pardon? UN. Okay, you're thinking about working for the UN, right? Some people are thinking about working for, as at least, I have always dreamed of working for business. Exactly. And then there are those people who dream of creating the big corporations. Are we together? There are some of you who are thinking about building the next MTN. There are some of you who are dreaming about building the next Guinness. There are some of you dreaming of building the next Heineken. So in this case, we are talking about job seekers and entrepreneurs. And here I would like to be talking about entrepreneurs. Because everything we has been doing from morning to now is how can we use Python or programming as a whole to achieve something. So now I want us to talk about entrepreneurs. Now that you have learned Python, now that you know what Python is all about, you know what programming is all about, how then can you bring this programming into something that is going to help you as a person and help your community too? And that is where we are talking about entrepreneurs. Are we together? Can we all see the screen? Can we all see what's on the screen? Can someone read for us? Can someone read it really out loud?
From the gates of Microsoft to Stephen Jobs of Apple
Inc. Incorporated.
Okay, to Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, to Richard Branson of the Virgin Group, to Aliko Dangote, the richest man in Africa and 77 in the world, to Alhaji Danfolio of Cameroon, etc. All entrepreneurs have been known to share one thing in common.
We all know these people, right? We all know these people, right? We know Bill Gates. Who doesn't know Bill Gates? You don't know Bill Gates. Who else? Do you know Microsoft? When you put on the computer, you see Microsoft Windows, this, right? Microsoft is the company that builds Windows, or that programs Windows. Is that okay? Are we together? We know Steve Jobs, Apple, those with iPhones, iPods, and so on and so forth. Those are all created by Apple. We know Mark Zuckerberg, all of us know Mark Zuckerberg, right? The creator of Facebook. All of us use Facebook. We know Mark Zuckerberg. If you've heard of the Virgin Mobile, Virgin Airlines, and so on and so forth, that was all built by Richard Branson. We all, I'm sure most of us know Dangote, or at least you've heard of Dangote. In Nigeria, who's the richest man in Africa, and in 2013, he was the 77th richest man in the world. 2013. And all of us know Alhaji Danfolio, Nawara, the person we generally call Nawara. All of these people, all entrepreneurs have been known to share one thing in common. And what is that thing? What is that thing? What is that thing that all entrepreneurs share or all entrepreneurs have in common? Are we together? Hello? Are we together? Yeah. What is that one thing that all entrepreneurs share? Money. Okay. The aim of making profit. Okay, thank you. What else? Money. Money. Okay. They share a vision. That's the most important thing that all of them have. They share a vision. Are we together? Are we together? Yeah. They share a vision. Every successful entrepreneur in the world today has a vision or had a vision. In a couple of years' time, we want to be the most valuable company in the world. And that was what made Apple to become the most valuable company in the world in 2013. Are we together? That is one thing all entrepreneurs have. They all share a vision. Now, we have seen most of these guys, Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, Bill Gates of Microsoft, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, who created Apple, Larry Page and Sergey Brin, who created Google, Evan Williams, Jack Dorsey, and some other guys who created Twitter. Are we together? I just wanted us to see some examples of some tech entrepreneurs. That's what we are talking about here. Techpreneurship. Technology entrepreneurship. Are we together? Yeah. Programming and entrepreneurship. Why am I learning programming, and how can programming help me to become an entrepreneur? For those of us who are dreaming of building the biggest companies. Are we together? Yes. Great. So what is entrepreneurship all about? Entrepreneurship is all about solving a problem. Do you know how Facebook came up? What prompted Mark Zuckerberg to build Facebook? Let me tell you. Mark Zuckerberg was a university student, right? And in his hostel, his roommate came one day and asked him, there's a certain girl in your class. Do you know if that girl is in a relationship or not? That was when the idea came. Why don't you build a platform where people can simply just log on and check out girls in their class or girls from another class to know whether they are already in a relationship or not? That was where it came up like a seed. And then many other ideas started coming up. That was to solve the problem. Maybe it was a problem of dating. I don't know. Entrepreneurship is about seizing an opportunity. Are we together? It is about seizing an opportunity. When you look at some of the big companies, like maybe when you go back to look at Guarantee or Amumeza and so on and so forth, those are good examples of entrepreneurs, right? And in their time, people wanted to travel. But you notice that they didn't have the means to walk for long distances. Only those who were privileged to have private cars at that time could go for long distances. And the idea came up, hey, why don't we open an agency where people can come and pay and we transport them to some of these long distances? That is seizing an opportunity, right? There's an opportunity there. People want to travel, but they don't have the means to travel. So what do? Take for example, today, there are a lot of us who want to enter airplanes, but we don't have the opportunity to go maybe to the US. Why don't you open an airline that will fly from Bamenda to Yaoundé or to Southwest? It is an opportunity you're seizing. Are we together? Great. So, like we are saying, entrepreneurship is about solving a problem. It could be a problem in your community. It could be a problem anywhere. It is about seizing an opportunity of something that is lacking and provide it to the people. And it could also be about adding or providing value. Are we together? It's about adding or providing value. Steve Jobs said, create something that people need, something they don't even know that they need, and then they are going to wonder how they used to live without that thing. Are we together? Before mobile phones came, did we know we had a problem? But today when your mobile phone gets missing, do you even feel like you are living? No. So it's about adding value and providing value to people. Are we together? Yeah. Now we realize that technology has gone a long way to answer the most pressing questions and to solve the greatest worries of our time. Is that true? Is that true? Yes. All of this is thanks to program. At every level of technology, at every level of information and communication technology, there is a program somewhere powering it. It could be a Python program like what Richard was trying to show you here. Are we together? Yeah. I think he wrote a syntax there that did a calculation. 5 plus 4, or was it, what was it? 5 plus 4 is equal to 1, sorry. Sorry. Regular ones. I'm sorry about that. 5 plus 4 is equal to 9, right? That simple syntax is the same syntax that powers the calculator that you are holding in your hands. Are we together? Someone has written a small program and put it into a chip and put it into that small case and given you. So when you type 5 plus 4, it gives you 9. Those are programs. Are we together? Every level of information and communication technology is powered by programs. And the people who are making the money behind these programs are those people who actually build it. Bill Gates today is the richest man in the world, and he has a net worth of $81 billion. Which means if he gives everyone in the world $10, he'll still be a billionaire. That's how rich the guy is. And what is he doing with the money? Well, you can feel free to Google that video and see what he's doing. But one thing I can tell you he's doing with it is he has the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which does a lot of charity work in Africa. Are we together? The people making a lot of money, the people making money behind these programs are programmers, tech entrepreneurs, techpreneurs. And that is why I want us to realize that this programming or this simple syntaxes that Richard is showing us today, I myself don't even understand what he's doing. But I'm hoping to, right? But we have to learn what he's trying to show us so that we can be able to use that thing to become stinking rich. And that is where we talk about entrepreneurship. Are we together? Remember I said there are people who want to work for the biggest companies and there are people who want to build the biggest companies. Richard has been talking about those who want to work for the biggest companies. Learn Python programming and you could one day be employed as maybe a programmer for the UN. That's a lot of money, right? Learn Python programming and you might go ahead to build an application that will become as popular as Facebook, as popular as Microsoft, as popular as many other applications that we know. Are we together? Are we together? Hello? Now, when we say technology has solved some of our biggest worries thanks to programs, what do we mean? Programs are a way to simplify things. Are we together? Programs are a way to simplify things. What do you want to do? Do you want to reach out to a wider audience online? A website can help you do that, right? And a website is also a program. Are we together? What do you want to do? Do you want to perform fast and fluid transactions? Microsoft Excel. When we start thinking about filling details, making calculations, we think about Microsoft Excel, right? That is a program. Do you want to communicate, have fun, and keep in touch with people? Facebook. Do you want to play games and wine time? What do we call Zuma, right? And many other things. Do you want to chillax and connect with people? Listen to your music. Are we together? Do you want to find any information that you want? You can head on to Wikipedia. Hello? Are we together?
Yes.
Great. And do you want to attend classes and submit your assignments? Where do you go to? Dev.net. How many of us use the Dev.net website? Our school's website. How many of us have ever opened it? How many people have opened the Dev website? Do you even know that you can attend classes on that website? Do you know that your teachers can send instructions, send course material, and so on and so forth on that website? Like that, right? I'm talking about a their website. Do you know you can do all of that on their website? How many people have their login details, their username and password? All students have it, and very few people have ever opened it. Do we see how simple programs can make our lives? We are getting to the stage where you will not even need to come to class in order to get your assignment. You just sit at home, you log into get.net, you username and password, go to your class, and you see the assignment that the teacher has put in. That is how powerful programs are. That is how well programs have changed the way we do things in the world. Are we together? Yeah. Great. Before I go ahead, are there any questions? Question? And okay, the answer of any question. Then let's move ahead. One thing that has always guided me in my work, in my life, is that nothing is impossible with information technology. The moment you sit on top of a computer, nothing is impossible. Are we together? Remember that when you leave here today, nothing is impossible. Programming can do it all. No matter what you want to do, programming can do it all. Are we together? Yeah. Believe me when I say so. Programming can do almost everything. Today we are boasting about cars that can drive themselves. Just need to get in and put a destination and go. Google has a prototype of that already running. Are we together? Almost everything is possible with programming. Now that we know that programming can do it all, why not make some money out of it? Why not make some money out of it? In the top 100 richest people in the world, at least 60 are IT entrepreneurs. At least 60 are IT entrepreneurs. And inside that 60, at least 3 are from the same company. Microsoft alone has about 5 people in the top 100 richest people in the world. Apple has about 2 or 3. Are we together? So what are you waiting for? Why don't you join these people who are making a lot of money from programming, from entrepreneurship? As potential entrepreneurs, one, we must think of how we can seize this opportunity. This is an opportunity. Are we together? The fact that Richard is talking to us about Python programming here today is an opportunity for us to learn that Python programming, even if we don't understand it here, but find out how we can learn it further, right? We need to seize that opportunity, right? We must work towards seizing this opportunity. We must actually seize this opportunity and do something big. Are we together?
Yes.
Are we together?
Yes.
Are there any questions? If there's no question, I'm going to ask my own question. Now that we have been seeing or we've been talking about this entrepreneurship, technology, programming, what are some ideas that you think you can implement using programming or using information technology? What is an idea that you can think of right now? Are you thinking about building the next Facebook, maybe the dead book, or hip book, or anything? What are some of the ideas that you can think of? What are some entrepreneurial ideas that what's your name? Your name?
Acquiring knowledge first.
Okay. You know how to do it. Okay, like before you acquiring this knowledge, right? What is one thing that if you knew how to program, you would do right now?
I'll open my own network.
Your own network, your own social network. Maybe their Facebook or their film.com. Scratch crazy cards. That's an idea. That's your own idea, right? Okay, that's a great idea. Their film.com. I'm sure I'll sign up to their film.com. Or scratch credit cards. What else? What other idea can you think of? Are we together? What other idea? There are lots and lots of things that we can do with information technology. Are we together? Lots and lots of them. If you cannot think about it right now, when you go home, just try to think about it. What is it that I can do? Right? what is the one thing that I can do? Yesterday I saw some two young ladies in South Africa who are making school bags with plastic, with these waste plastic papers. They take these school bags, or they take these waste papers, they make these bags with them, and it doesn't end up making these bags, but they attach solar panels to them. So that these solar panels, these bags now have a bulb. These solar panels, when children are going to school in the afternoon, it's charging their bulbs. And then when they come back in the evening, even if you don't have electricity, you can use your bag to do. Are we together? Do you see how people are making a lot of money just from ideas that might start off as very silly ideas? Are we together?
Yeah.
Great. So when you go back home, think of what Richard is telling you today. Think of how you can use IT to make a lot of money for yourself. So what are we going to do next? What I advise you to do is get these ideas. You said Delphine.com, right? Look at Delphine.com. How is it that you can make Delphine.com into something big? Is that okay? Let me give you an example of something simple. We have a client down here, Toms. What Toms does is, Toms has a website, right? She takes pictures of clothes and shoes, and then she puts it on that website, and people can order those clothes and shoes. When you order them, you pay for it, and then she brings your clothes to you. You understand? You might not necessarily buy the clothes. When someone orders for a clothes or a dress and pays the money, you take the money, buy the dress, and then you take back to the clothes. Are we together? Yeah, it depends now on you. It depends on you now. That's why I said develop your ideas. Are we together? You might start small, shopping in Kwen. You might be in Kwen. And maybe that's what the Delphine.com can be all about. If you want to buy, you might be in Kwen. There are a lot of people who don't have time to go to the market and buy. Just put it there. The person sits in his office, sees a nice dress, pays for you, you bring here and you deliver it to the person in the market. It is at service, very well to service. Are we together? Let's tell you someone sound. Good. When you develop your ideas, what is it that you want to do? I want to open a cash credit card kind of thing. Now, find the right resources. What do I need to open this idea? I need Python programming language. Or if I don't have time to learn Python programming language, I need to employ someone who has Python programming language. Are we together? Are we together? Yes. And finally, create history. Be like people like, become the next Bill Gates, become the next Mark Zuckerberg. Maybe the next Mark Zuckerberg will be Delphine. Everyone will be talking about Delphine, who created Delphine.com. Are we together? Yeah. Or maybe like Elon Musk, who created PayPal. That's your scratch critical as well. Are we together? Are there any questions? Any question? He said if you make a presentation and no one has a question, either you're very bad or very good. So which is it? Okay. In the absence of any question, I want to say thank you very much for listening to me. And before I hand over the speech to Richard, I want us to play one very small game. Is that okay? Who knows the king game? The king says, if I say something, you don't do it. If the king says something, you do it. Is that okay? For example, the king says clap one. Clap one. The king didn't say it. The king says clap one. Clap one. The king says clap one. Two. The king says clap two. Three. The king says clap one. Two. The king says hands up. Down.
I want to thank you guys for attending. There's not much we are going to do again. And I want to encourage you guys that if you're willing to start programming today, maybe right now, right here, you can always start with Python programming language. If you need assistance about your career and planning your career with programming and moving ahead, maybe you can always contact me. Let me my number is
If your eyes are not good, I'm going to help you.
You need assistance about Python programming. You want to create software. Maybe you have an idea, a great idea that you want to implement. Yeah, you can always contact me on that. And if you need a way forward on how you can use programming to move on with your career, either contact me or you contact for Yembe. You can always guide you. Because for Yembe is also a programmer. He does PHP programming. We mentioned here when we were talking about some of the types of programming languages. He's the one who was responsible for building a website. The website is actually really good because there's a lot of coding on the background. So you can always contact him or me if you wish to learn Python programming or you need a way forward to computer programming, especially because I insist Python programming because it's going to make your day easy. But if you want to start with C, maybe you might drop along the way because for beginners it's very difficult. So I thank you guys very much, and I thank you guys for attending. And as we come to the end of the event, I will have some light refreshment before we go. At least you do not come here and go back and see. So I'm from Gamsu Richard, and he is called for Yembe Cameroon. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thank you.
Marie.